Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. And this video is actually a viewer's request. So one of my viewers actually asked me to review this particular token, Centurion Inu, and that's where I'm making a quick review of this particular token out there. This is relatively a new token, so it would be my honest opinions on what I feel about this token. I did have a quick chat in the Telegram group just before making this video. Tried to get some information out, so I'll be sharing all those as well in this video. So watch out for this video in terms of what my views are on Centurion Inu, and at the end, I would probably categorize it as some of the positives and negatives that right now in the current scenario or the current time frame, with limited information of what I have, is based on. So in the coming days, yes, it would definitely change, but for now in this video I'll just give certain positives on what my personal views are. Again, these are completely my personal views. The discretion on whether you want to go ahead and invest in this token or not is ideally left to you. The same old disclaimer before we start this video, guys. I'm not a financial advisor, or neither is this financial advice. This is done for educational purposes alone. So please do your own research before you get into any token in the crypto space out there. Having said that, let's just dive in right away to the website. So this is their website. It's a single page website with limited information. All right. So for now, again, I'm just quoting because it's very new. It's somewhat wrong from my side to expect exorbitant amount of, or you can say design that should happen in the website. What information needs to be provided, if it is provided, I believe that should be more than said. And like I always say, it's not the visualization that I will always look out for, it's the content. So that is what I majorly am behind in any of the tokens out there. Any new token that launches, I would definitely look into information that is provided rather than what visual effects or visually how good it is to see in any website of this. So this is quite a mix of both, but still there are certain informations which I am expecting more could have been given out. But yeah, I think with what limited information we have right now, we'll just run through it and probably figure out certain things. So in terms of Centurion, what is it planning to do? It's a community driven token. It just launched in September, I think a couple of weeks back. uh, After which I think it's right now available in Uniswap for purchase. There is a white paper which we will also go through in a while, and after which you see that they are planning for a global takeover. Centurion, will take over the world by storm and conquer the world of marketing to be on top of every other Dogecoin or Dogecoin, however you want to call it. So Centurion, on top of the hill is never as hungry as the Doge climbing the hill. Okay, rewards. It's providing a 1%, reward system wherein the community members would be rewarded, as well as they are saying that they would also have community games and buybacks or giveaways, which would include more reward systems to be in place for the community members. Now they say it's a community driven token altogether. It defines, the community decides where and which direction the Centurion Inu token has to go for. You're not investing in a cryptocurrency, you're investing in a community, is what they say. I kind of like this line because yes, that's how it is with some of the major projects out there. It's always not the token that is in focus. It's always on what projects they are getting into, the product that they're getting into, and the entire people out there who form the ecosystem for building the particular project. That is more important. So yeah, kind of like this line. My honest opinion, guys. So again, going on, they say it's an innovative community. Their interest is to able to vote and create ideas that can improve the ecosystem. That's fine. Quite common in all the tokens, obviously, because it's community driven in every other new token that launches, unless and until it is something like Cardano, or I mean, it's still community driven, but you do have a big backing in terms of the actual team that is there, right? So that's what I meant. So yeah, algorithm and tokenomics. Quickly checking that before we get into the details of the white paper. So they have renounced the contract. The ownership is renounced on the contract. The initial supply, typical 100,000 for any new token that you get, 100,000 quadrillion. Out of which we do have a burn, which we'll get into once we get into the white paper part. Again, like I quoted already, 1% redistribution and 7% of the transaction fees would be sent into marketing wallet. Now, the marketing wallet is split into two things. One would be especially for the development part, and the second would be for centralized exchanges and other stuff. is what they have quoted. So it's with two different wallet addresses, and I believe two people are holding it as owners. So moving on, I guess that's it. Information. That's the information we have here on the website. And if you're planning to buy, then you can use this. I mean, it's not a swap that they have already built in. It's not a product. If you click on this, it's just an API link to Uniswap. So you'll be able to get your wallet connected and go ahead and purchase this token. My personal advice: get into Uniswap specifically, take the contract address, put it there instead of probably using this link. Probably somewhere sometime it might provide a backdoor for few of the hackers out there. Since you're using this API, it might provide a backdoor. I'm not quoting it will, but it might provide a backdoor. So better to actually use the Uniswap on their own website or on your decentralized application, that's your DApp, on your wallet application itself. So you can copy the contract address. Probably you will have to add the token manually and go ahead and purchase this token if you feel like. Now that's on how to purchase. Having said that, let's quickly have a look at, they are listed in CoinGecko. Yes, they have recently got this listed. Ranking is still not available since it's a new token. And for now, at the current price it's at, wouldn't speak too much on the price, guys, since it's very, very new. But at the current price, what you would get is somewhere around 140 billion tokens. 140 billion tokens, right? So that is what you would get for $1. So, having said that, moving on in the Etherscan portion, we see that there are 1,387 holders right now, out of which we see we have a burn of 40% already done. Now, I'll get into more details on the burn mechanism front. I did pose a few questions to which I've received answers. I'll show you my Telegram screenshots on the chat section. So we will run through that a little later as well. So these two, I believe, would be the marketing wallets that I just quoted. One would be for the centralized exchange and the other expenses and stuff, and the other would be the marketing wallet, especially used for the developers team and the marketing section as well. All right. So moving on, let's get into the white paper quick. Coming down, yeah, they do have their own disclaimer. And yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention, guys. They have got the audit done from TechRate as well for the contract. Okay, so the contract is audited by TechRate. So that's nice to see that they've not found any such malicious kind of issues with the contract. Again, I'm quoting, with the contract, it is not with the entire token. See, the contract is different from the actual token. How it is, it's very simple. A contract is just a coding that is built into the token, and probably why you would actually get that audit done is to ensure that there are no backdoor entries available, or there are no mechanisms where a person can use or probably utilize the contract coding to hack or get away with scams, right? So some of them were happening at that point of time. Yes, even now they are happening. We would not be aware because the audits would not be going through, and not for every token that's out there. But yeah, say tech rate audit is being done only for the contract, but that cannot be said for the people behind any token. So any token out there, even if you go ahead, not only Centurion, any other token which says we have done an audit for the contract, it is just an audit for the contract code alone. So maximum of those contract codes would be copies of the Ethereum or the Binance blockchains without any major modifications as such. So they would just run the contract, see if there are any potential aspects where there are some backdoor entries possible, or there are certain areas where it is actually proving to be malicious. Like for example, I say they would have written in the contract that whatever comes into the wallet, a marketing wallet, or whatever reflections are ideally coming out, 1% of the total reflections would be sent out to a specific wallet which is under control of the owner, right? So that would be the major chunk, and you would be receiving peanuts. So that's how it might be programmed, which is a kind of a backdoor or a kind of hint towards having scams done, because you're losing out on your actual way of receiving tokens. So having said that, it's just that they run the contract and check if there are such backdoor entries or malicious activities that can be detected. Again, it's just for the contract of the token. Nothing can be said or found out through the audit that this token is a scam or not. I'm not speaking about this specific token, I mean any token. Okay, any other token, even though they quote that they have gone through the audit, it would be for the contract that cannot be said or vouched for the people behind it, right? So even if you have audit done for any of the big tokens out there, which are having, by big I mean in terms of volume and price, the owners are still in control of the wallets, or the developers are still in control of the wallets which have major portion of the tokens available, then that is potentially still possible to have a rug pull done, because it's ultimately in the control of the owner or the developer team who owns those wallets with a major chunk of supply, right? So you can definitely expect them to probably run away, and that's what has been happening in a lot of scams recently. Even though you see that some of the tokens have been quoting that they have got the audit done, that's again for the contract but not for the people behind it, right? Having said that, yes, it's good that we see that on the contract code there are no such potential issues found. If you want, you can run through the technical audit report, it's available on the website as well. So quickly going through the white paper, they say that the tokenomics front, it is the initial supply again 100 quadrillion. I guess they missed zero. Okay, 100 quadrillion. So distribution fee is 1% to the holders. Development fee 7% to the development to the on the marketing wallet. So ideally the slippage would be somewhere around 8 to 9%. So make sure that if you are setting the slippage manually, ensure that you set it at around 8% or 8.5% to get the token transaction completed, in case you are purchasing, that is. You have the contract address, and this is something that I actually would prefer. Liquidity is locked for 1 year duration. So I did go ahead and check in the website, it's locked for an 11 months from now, I guess September, since it's done. Probably I don't know why it's not opening. The page does not exist. This is a bit. All right, I guess I'll just put this across to them on the Telegram group, and probably they will have to update the link on the white paper to just have a check. Or is it that I need to copy this entire portion? Oops. Oh, just a moment, guys. Yeah, so you had to actually copy this entire portion. I think when you click on this, the hyperlink is not enabled for the entire address, so it's giving you a wrong page. So when I copy this and paste it in my address link, I was able to view the details. You can see here it's locked up with 100% on Uniswap, and the circulating supply, total supply. So another 340 days, 10 hours, 7 minutes, 52 seconds. That's the timeline. So it's ideally around 1 year of lock duration for liquidity. Yes, that's good to see. And when I come down to the Etherscan, I believe it's around 2%. That's around 20 quadrillion. That's the liquidity pool. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Anyone watching this video, if this is a liquidity pool or if there's something else that is actually the liquidity pool. I believe this is the one, but just let me know in case I'm wrong here. So that is locked for another, I mean, 1 entire year. So even if the price drops to a very low value, you will still be able to sell your token since the liquidity is still available. Now the burn supply is around 40%. Now this is where I was a little, skeptical, because I wanted to know how are they planning to reduce this supply of 100 quadrillion. Now, I mean, the 40% burn is fine. There is still another 60 huge quadrillion. That's a huge supply, guys, and that supply cannot at least help in appreciating the price in any near term future. So that's something that I was a little concerned about, because if you're planning to actually give back to the investors and the community, then the price should obviously have some price action. It should move up the ladder, right? So if you have such a humongous supply, how are you planning to go ahead and reduce it? That was a conversation I was having, and I'll show you a few screenshots of what conversations I had. I did firstly ask them the question on 7% to the development and marketing wallet. What is the reason behind it? And I also asked them, is there any burn mechanism apart from one that you have said that 40% is burnt? And I also wanted to know about the marketing wallet ownership, to which I did get the answer in the pinned messages, wherein they say that they have two different wallets. Like I showed you, I believe these are the two on the Etherscan, the first two wallets. I believe the 8% and 7.3%. So these two are owned with separate, the ownership is two separate people who again are not docs between themselves. So neither of them know who they are. So they both are owning this two wallets out there. So they are quoting, if anyone decides to run, the other one would be able to back that up. But still, yeah, I would be a little careful about having these things in terms of the dream not doxed yet, or probably much more details to be coming in the coming days. So that's what my opinion is. Again, moving on, I did ask them on. The response I got for the 7% marketing is they said they can be top notch, and this includes for listing, etc. This will also make sense grow. The burn is being done by a friendly whale who has around already burned 40% and is burning more. So this is fine in terms of the burn portion, but I did tell them that having a whale just burn 40% of the supply doesn't make sense, because the whale still has to be a purchaser or an investor. So as and when the price goes up in the coming days, he or she cannot be keep cannot keep shelling out millions to just purchase the token and probably burn them out, right? So that's not how ideal it is for a burn mechanism to happen, because ultimately the purchaser would be uh, getting a loss of millions of dollars in the coming days if he or she would be investing in this token and then again just putting it in the dumping it in the burn wallet. So that's not the way it is supposed to be built up, at least the burn mechanism per se. I don't know yet to see on how it goes. So they did respond to me, CG, one of the mod over there. So he or she, I'm not so sure. Please, sorry if you're watching this video. I do not know your gender, so I wouldn't like to make any comments on that. I'm sorry about it. But yeah, CG did tell me that more burns are promised and we will have to wait and watch. Yeah, I agree to that, because sometimes since this token is fairly new, there might be certain strategies that they are planning in the back end, which definitely can be introduced. But one thing that I'm actually thinking of is, since the ownership of the contract is totally renounced, if you can check that the contract itself is renounced, they will have to bring out a new version of the token in terms of having a burn mechanism built in. Why? Because yes, the contract needs to be changed. You cannot make any changes to a contract which is already renounced. So you will definitely have to go ahead and probably build a new contract altogether on a version 2 basis to incorporate those burns. But yeah, I leave it to the team to decide on what needs to be done. This is just my thoughts and my opinions. I guess probably they are thinking of that, and we'll get to know more about it in the coming days. Coming down to the next portion that I asked them, and I did check with them. So, see, he said that CG is just a holder like everyone else, and he cannot answer what he cannot know. I totally understand this. Not every mod needs to know everything about the token, because many of the mods out there on the community would be community members and investors alone. So they would be getting those limited information, what they could be, what the main team or the developer team or the owners would be able to share with them. So that's what they can actually portray or probably publicize in the official group. So apart from that, there are certain other informations which would be NDAs, or certain other information which is still inside info and cannot be shared with the people out there, because they're still technically not part of the actual core team that is there, right? So quite obvious, I totally understand about that factor. But yeah, yet to see what more things can happen. But I did ask him if there are any devs in the team as well, and also if he could help, CG could help in getting some information from the senior member or the developer out there for the token. So, and I did ask that since nothing related to the team members was mentioned out there. Now, there are two things which I want to make it clear over here. Not every project should have a doxed crew or a doxed team. Now, for example, take Shiba Inu. Now, Shiba Inu token, Satoshi is not doxed. Satoshi is still an Undocs member of the team. Yes, he is working. It's a good token. They're bringing out a fabulous project. I'm invested in Shiba. Please do check out my Shiba Inu videos as well. So just quoting that, not every project needs to be having a doxed crew. So that's not, see, doxed crew would only provide more transparency, more trust building to the community and the token or the project, but it's not utmost mandatory. Why? My simple thought, some of the projects out there might be catered by two to three individuals who are highly influential in the society as well. You never know. We actually even now do not know whether Elon Musk is actually the one driving Dogecoin or Dogecoin as we call it. Whether Elon Musk is also backing the Shiba Inu token. I mean, I'm saying literally backing. Okay, yes, the tweets and other stuff might be memes, and yes, Dogecoin, he is in support, and he has told that openly, but what I mean is, was he the person? Is he the person who is still mainly involved with the actual Dogecoin team, or will he? Is he a person who is one among those who is also responsible for having Shiba Inu coming into picture? Right, so just quoting my views, that see, those kind of people cannot openly go ahead and say, I mean, I'm a person who is actually kind of the CEO or the CMO or one of those respectable positions or part of the actual team which established this token. They cannot actually dox themselves, right? So these individuals might be in such a space where they do not want to dox themselves, but on the sidelines it can be the other way too, right? So that we will discuss about in my last section, where I would quote the positives and the negatives. Now, moving on, you can read through the screenshot if you feel like, but I'll just take the nits and bits. Now, I was also asking them how are they planning to reduce the supply, to which they said you can actually go ahead and ask the questions in the AMA that is happening on October 1st. That would answer my questions. Yes, definitely. Yes, I would love to be part of their AMAs and go ahead and know more about the team, know more of the token as well, so that I can give accurate information to all my viewers out there. So I will be attending this AMA. Yes, definitely. And if you are planning to invest in the token, I would strongly recommend that you attend this AMA as well. Get to know the team, get to know what they're planning, what their future ventures are, and how are they planning to build the entire project or the product for the token altogether. So, having said that, let's move on to the white paper last section, wherein they say they have the vision. They call it, the confidence in the cryptocurrency market. Trust is the key. That means full transparency, not only in the community support and development, but also in the security effort. That's why I decided to lock the liquidity for 1 year. We decided, sorry. So transparency and community, again they quote, Centurion Inu is a fully decentralized and supported by its community of investors. Free, open and frank communication can be encouraged. Yes, I would definitely love to have such free, open and frank communications in any of the tokens out there, not respectively to send token. That's how you need to build a community out there, because you need to respect each one's comments, you need to respect each one's questions and queries, and treat everyone equally, because any person who is big or small investing in your token is still an investor. That's something nice to see. Moreover, marketing portion, they have quoted that the marketing will be managed by most part by the paid professionals who, with their connections and expertise, can guarantee us most out of the marketing budget. These partnerships, if fruitful, will be renewed and expanded in order to guarantee and always the best results. Now, two things over here which I would like to quote. This might be one of the reasons why we have that 7% marketing, wallet contribution that happens with every transaction. That's a 7% tax that you will go down to the marketing section, since I believe they are heavily investing in marketing. But on a longer run, I believe that they need to think of mechanisms to reduce that in terms of having the marketing strategy. Having marketing alone done, because marketing can get you to to a certain extent where people can get to know about the token more, or probably ride the hype train. But in the end, it's all about your the goal and the project that you take up, and what problem you would actually provide a solution for in the crypto space that would ensure the sustainability and the stability of the token altogether. So let's see in the coming days. Fairly new right now, yes, they might be investing a lot in the marketing section so that they get more visibility much faster, and probably build up that financial aid which is required for the upcoming projects or products that they're planning in line. So having said that, it's time for it's all about the time frame that we need to check to ensure that what they're planning to do in the coming days. Again, quoting back to the October 1st AMA, I think that would give us some detail, or probably some view on what they're planning to do in the future. Now, listings, yeah, it's there in Nomics website, and they are also planning to get into centralized exchanges pretty soon. But yeah, that would happen when it happens, guys. It's not as simple as we see that, any centralized exchange will not be happy enough to welcome any token with open arms. It would definitely need to go through a certain set of scrutiny, so it would take some time, is what I believe. We need to have volume built up, we need to have holders built up, we need to have people speaking about the token on the public front. I mean, publicity is what I mean. So everything makes up for having a listing done on centralized exchanges. And use cases, this is something which I found a little interesting, but there is a catch, which I would again go back and discuss in the end. So with the use cases, they say that they want to spread the Roman culture to all the citizens out there. So that is through education and NFTs. So they want to actually spread the Roman culture through NFTs, which have been released, which will be released by their team of featured artists. So that's nice to see. They are totally into the Roman culture part. They also want to go ahead and build an educational database which is centered on Roman history and Latin. They are also having partnerships, I mean, planning to have partnerships, I believe. So because until now nothing is released, so I would say they're planning to have partnership with historians and content creators will be which will actually give that quality, get quality original. Yeah, that's rightly true, because the actual true reasons or true event details would only be available with a few of those historians who know the actual history very well, who have studied and spent some sufficient time knowing what the culture was, what the entire dynasty or the empire or the kingdom, whatever be the use case. I'm not speaking about this Roman culture as such, any other culture out there, that would be the right option to move for. Then they say that negotium, if I'm pronouncing it wrong or if I'm pronouncing it right, please do let me know in the comment section below. Negotium is what they call, they say that it is a custom merchandise portion where you would be able to purchase certain merchandise which are having scent branding. So after which, uh, beneficientia. I mean, if I'm wrong in this pronunciation of this, please do. I apologize, but let me know in the comment section below if I did it right. Beneficientia. I mean, that's how I would go for. But yeah, any NFTs profits funds from a dedicated donation section would be used to help museums around the world and also help building schools where there are none. Now, the second portion is what I liked about what they're planning to do. Whether it happens or not happens, yet to see in the future. But this is something that I really like, because again, they're giving back to the community in terms of education aspect, which is very much needed out there, which would give them two opportunities. One, a good amount of presence in the global level, and two, provide education to the children that would somewhat build a kind of an interest in the entire community free of cost. You don't need to do much of marketing with your branded merchandise. You can definitely have the kids floating around speaking about the token, and definitely that would catch a lot of people's eyes as well. So that's good marketing strategies also included with charity. So with this last part, we will ensure that while we profit and learn thanks to send, our community can still do some good work in outside world by spreading opportunities to education and culture and preserving our world heritage. This is nice. Yeah, good one. In terms of the roadmap, they've just given us the first thing, the audit. After that, the indexes, their CoinGecko, CoinMegaCap listings. The Shiba swap is what they're planning to also have the token listed in. This is actually nice, because this would aid Shiba Inu token as well, since there is a burn in place whenever you want to list a new token pair in Shiba Swap. You would have to burn $25,000 worth of ship for each pair that you go ahead and list. So I guess it would be a good good thing for Shiba Inu in having this token listed over there. Then in centralized exchanges, they want to get into Gate.io and Hotbit, and later on use cases again, whatever we have quoted or discussed just now. Now, that's it for the white paper, guys. And coming down to the final section of my video, I would quote this as two different concepts. I would not say whether you should invest in it or not, because it's fairly new, and I would just give you the positives. I would just give you the certain things which I feel should have been there for me to get more confidence. Okay, I wouldn't say negatives as such. I would just say that certain other things which I feel should have been done better, or probably should that information should be provided, which would build my personal confidence more on the token. Again, the decision is always left to you. You can decide after watching this video whether you would like to invest or not. The positives right now, as to what I see, is the price. Yes, the price is really really low. If you look at it, you would be getting somewhere close to 140 billion tokens with a I mean $1 of investment. That's quite big, and it's still fairly new considering it's just around days old. I would strongly say that the price point would definitely take some time to get some traction and move up the ladder. And the second positive note is what I liked about having the education as a mean, and also NFTs, which would come out with the Roman culture specific to certain artists. Now, NFTs are a hotcake out there, so they are selling out in millions of dollars, huge volumes. Please do go ahead and check out my other video, which I released yesterday on Jetstar, where I've spoken about what NFT market is, and I've also showed you a few examples on how good or how big the NFT market is. I mean, I was fairly amazed to see, because I'm very new to the NFT marketplace. I wanted to just run through few of those artists or communities or games which are having NFTs built out there, and I was surprised to see the amount of transactions that are happening in volumes as well as in value of ETH and or USD, whatever it is. So just go check out that video to know more about NFTs part. But yeah, this NFTs might aid and probably give them a big boost in terms of the use cases. The second one, what I like personally, is related to the merchandise as well as the charity section, where you are helping in terms of improving museums across the world, and also help in building schools as such. So these would be the positives for me on this token. Now, coming down to areas where I feel could have been better or probably would boost my confidence more, the first and foremost, a little more information on the website would definitely help, because there is no ideal. I would say, why was this token built? So, what is the actual reason? There is no much detail in the website. You need to get into the white paper, read it in detail regarding what the use cases are. I would definitely say the use cases, if mentioned here, would give them a better visibility in terms of investors or people who would like to know more about the token understand, because those use cases are something which are relevant to actually put across. And trust me, there some of them are good. So that's really a good way that you can actually market yourself in terms of putting that information over in the website instead of having it in the white paper, because not many people definitely read the white paper nowadays. So having said that, the second portion which I feel should somewhat improvise is in terms of the burn mechanism. So right now, we see that the burn mechanism is somewhat not built into the token altogether. It is just with certain person or a whale who is purchasing the tokens and selling it or burning it. Not selling it, I'm sorry, burning it, sending it to the burn wallet. So that is not a mechanism or a long way sustenance for the entire project altogether. The main reason being, it will still be under the control of that particular individual alone, so or a couple of individuals alone. So if you're owning around 10% of the supply, collectively around, I say, 10 individuals are owning 1% each, and 10% of the supply is owned by all 10 of you. Even if you want to go ahead and burn all the supply that you have got, it would still not result in a good amount of burn, because 10% of 100 quadrillion is just 10 quadrillion, guys. So having 10 quadrillion burnt will not reduce your supply to such an extent where you can actually see the a good amount of price increase, because unless and until you reduce the supply, simple mathematics, you would not be able to increase the price as sharply as we see. You have the same amount of supply, say, uh, see, now right now it's around 40 quadrillion, so 50% of the total supply would be burnt up, but the other 50% will still remain. So that's a huge 50 quadrillion tokens out there, and for them to actually get to a appreciable amount in terms of the price, your market cap should be exponentially high. I'm speaking of, I would say, close to somewhere around hundreds of trillions of dollars, right? So that is something that is ideally not possible right now. At least it would probably take a lot of years to come up with, I believe, because if you look at the current market cap for the entire cryptocurrency out there, I mean, just quoting on coin market cap, I have my Saitama here. All right, I keep watching a lot of tokens every single day, guys. So if you look at it, the actual overall market cap is of the entire crypto world out there with all the tokens included is somewhere currently today it's around 1.83 trillion. It is somewhere around 2.15 trillion ish range in the past weeks also, which we have seen. So assume it to be on an average of 2 trillion tokens. I mean, $2 trillion, in fact. So if you want the price of Centurion Inu to increase to such an extent where we see some good appreciable values, it would definitely mean that it has to go ahead and have a market cap in hundreds of trillions of dollars, and that's in a real world, let's say, not so easily possible. All right, so that's somewhere I feel that the team has to think of bringing in some kind of a burn mechanism, which would definitely give some amount of advantage in terms of appreciation of the price, because having marketing done alone cannot actually help in increasing the price point of the token. So there would be a certain extent of people where they get into the token right now since the price is less, but if in case there are no such mechanisms where we can see some good price action, then people would definitely be not happy out there. Especially everyone who invests would like to see some profit, right? So if that profit is not actually as much as they expected it to be, then you can lose a lot of investors who would be there, right? So that's something that I really want to see what the team would be doing in the future. Again, this is just my views and opinions. The team might have already thought about it, and probably we would get more details once the October 1st AMA happens. Having said that, the last and the final thing that I am a little concerned of is regarding the use cases. Yes, I did like the use cases and stuff, but here there is a catch. That's where I said I would like to discuss this particular point. They are focused heavily on the Roman culture. Yes, I totally agree with it, but I'm not so sure how good enough would it be in terms of the entire world probably accepting it. Now, why I am actually saying this, there are a lot of people who might not know anything about the Roman culture out there. And yes, this would be a platform where you can learn, but how easily can you penetrate such markets is something that is yet to be seen, right? So even in my history books in my schools, it was just a single chapter that we had where we learned about Roman history, but not more than that. But see, I'm speaking more about the entire world in place where Roman history is not yet penetrated. So the amount of time it would take, I'm sure that they would definitely put their effort in terms of penetration, but I'm more concerned about the time frame that it would take for them to get the penetration efficiently done, right? So anything about a specific community or a culture that you would like to spread through a cryptocurrency, uh, somewhat it's like a 50-50 chance is what my personal opinion is, because people might like it or people might not like it, or people would take a lot of time to probably spend some get some interest in terms of understanding or knowing things about it. So it's as good as people not liking history, right? So I don't know how fun or educational this module would come out with, but what I'm only speaking of or telling you guys is about the time frame it would definitely take. Now, you cannot get up in the morning and say I'll spread out sort of 10 educational videos on Roman culture from uh, you know any one of the platforms, and that's not something that every people out there in the world would be eagerly waiting for, right? So there must be a platform built where they need to first go ahead and think of to establish this content. There should be suitable content creators who would be available to create such content, and probably yes, the medium or the way that they are planning to market this content also matters a lot. There are a lot many things involved, right? So it would definitely take a lot of time in terms of establishing that global presence, and that is something which I'm also I would say I wouldn't say concerned as such, but I would say it would be my view that this is not something that can happen within a jiffy. It would take years, is what my personal opinion is. Unless and until the team has something else up their sleeve, and probably they launch some products which are revolutionary out there in the market, that would definitely give a new use case or probably some new utility to the entire token, which would probably provide interest for a lot more investors to get in. So, having said that, these are the points which I felt had to be probably improvised on. That's my personal opinion again. But yet to see more on what the AMA holds. Probably I might be able to get all these answers or probably more information about the token and what they're planning to do. And if you are planning to purchase this token, please do come down, read this review. Sorry, read the white paper, go through the entire token details, and I wouldn't share my opinion on whether you should buy it or not, simply because I do not have enough information. It's as simple as that. So I would only like to suggest or put out my opinion in terms of purchasing a token only after I personally have sufficient information about the token so that I can suggest it to any one of them out there. So that's where I would put a full stop to this video. So just go ahead and check out if you're interested, and then you can also attend the AMA and probably get to know more about the team, get to know more about the token. I would probably try to be there in the AMA as well, provided the time frame falls into my time zone. So let's see about that. More to hear once the AMA happens. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Have fun out there, and please do subscribe to my channel for more such videos on token reviews as well as certain views which I have on other tokens which I have personally invested in. Do check out my other videos too. Thank you so much. Have fun.